So by 2025, I guess it was maybe February or March of 2025, I came back to the US. That's because in March, I had scheduled the hearing to appeal the fake finding against me. And right before I left Guatemala to come back up here, I realized that I was in a legal position to fight what was going on. I realized that just telling somebody you drove your friend without their parents' permission isn't a finding of abuse. In Washington State, you have to say what you did that was reckless or intentional, how it harmed somebody and what harm was caused. You can't just say, I didn't like what you did. And so I filed a motion to clarify the finding, and APS refused. I also found false statements in their discovery where they had said, that they had diagnosed me with stuff that wasn't true. I found out that they had removed text messages where I had said I was calling the police, and they had actually cut off text messages halfway down to make it look like I said things I didn't say. Like there was one where I had said, you know exactly why I'm reporting you to the police. I'm not going to be accused of being someone who abducted my friend. And they cut it off so it says, I'm someone who abducted my friend. And put that in the discovery. They lied to the police, saying that my friend had told them in his interview in the time that they met him that he didn't want to go. They omitted all the records from his therapist, who would have said like that he wasn't harmed. They falsified the entire conversation I had with the investigator where I was telling her about abuse, saying that I was talking crazy and talking about conspiracies and talking about like just totally delusional. Like they fucked me. They created this discovery based on no evidence, saying that I had done something horrible based on nothing. And so then I filed a motion to compel exculpatory evidence. I filed a motion to subpoena the reports I had made to them to prove that they had them, to show that I had reported abuse. And that was all denied. Then they released the body cam footage of the day that I had my friend with the police. 2 days before the exhibits were due. They'd had it for 15 months. And they gave it to me 2 days before it was due. So I filed a motion for sanctions. I said, this is bullshit. They didn't make a statement of a claim against me. They have no evidence of anybody being harmed by me. They falsified these text messages. They falsified my emails. They omitted all the evidence, all my videos and everything that I'd given them over the past year showing what had really happened. All the police records, all of the CAD logs, all of it. They omitted all of it. They knew that I didn't do anything, and they still tried to pin that on me. I was fucking pissed. And so we had a motion hearing for all those motions that I filed, and I went off. I said exactly what had happened. I said that they had done this and this, all of this government misconduct. The administrative law judge said, okay, I'll consider all of this and I'll get back to you. And it took 4 months while I drove around, just staying in different places in the US, waiting 4 months for him to reply and say that he was denying everything, because he said that I don't have the right to due process if due process interferes with APS's agency rules, and their agency rules says that they don't have to give me anything. He said I don't have the right to evidence, even though the RCW, the law says I have the right to present evidence. He said that they didn't commit misconduct. Just totally lambasted me. And that's when I filed a motion for reconsideration with the BOA, the Board of Appeals, which is, it turns out this is all just APS's private little fucking joke of a court. Of course, they affirmed everything that he had said. And then they also added that I was trying to argue that what I did wasn't really abusive, that I was arguing summary judgment, that, yeah, all this happened, but it wasn't bad. That's not at all. I was arguing due process violations and the fact that they had fucking nothing. None of this stuff is real. Driving someone to the police to report abuse is not a delusional, bipolar lunatic trying to kidnap her friend. That's not what happened. So after that was all denied, I filed a petition for review with the Superior Court to address these threshold due process violations. And that's where I've kind of caught everybody up now. And now I'm going to tell everybody exactly what has happened in 3 cases, because there's actually 3 appeals going on.